Hello everyone, I'm RiverFox. Welcome to another Back to Basics video. Now today we're covering our Plankerton Storm Shield Defense number 6. Now one good thing about starting both a third and a fourth account in Fortnite Save the World is that I can go through and place amplifiers which I've never placed before. And it's definitely been a learning experience for me, because I've always pretty much in the first two accounts I always placed the same amplifiers and so forth as we went along. But this time around I'm trying to cover as many of the different amplifiers as we can, and it's definitely taught me a lot of different things about the different spawn points that you can get depending on what amplifiers you have placed and when you have placed them. So we're going to take a quick look around here. Now you will see a lot of builds here, especially this one over here. This is my home base north build, which there is a video I'm going to link in the description down below. It is in the Plankerton Endurance playlist, and that will show you a step-by-step guide on how to build this over here, because I've started building that up and getting it ready so that eventually we can go into our endurance. So I'm not going to go through it with you on this one. I'm going to leave it, and you'll be able to check that video, go through that separate. So we'll leave the home base north out from this video. So for this one, for SSD number 6, you're going to have two possibilities of amplifiers that you can place. You're either going to be able to place this one, which is just up there, or in this account's case you will be able to place the one which is literally over there. So we're going to go over there in a moment. Now one thing I do want to note, because if you don't place this amplifier here, then it will mean that for amplifier C, in my case this one here, that it will be able to be attacked from both the north up there and from the east all the way back, and also from the south. So you may notice a lot of changes that I've made on here, and that is because I'm leaving the storm shield over there as long as possible. If I can get away with not placing it on this account, then I will, but I'm leaving it as long as possible. Now for SSD number 6, you will get attacked, or you can get attacked for this amplifier here from the north. And for that, if they do spawn over from the north, then they're going to spawn right over at this point right here. Not a problem. But I've never, done this one before, so I've never actually had spawn points for this amplifier that we're looking at, amplifier C. I've never actually had those ones before, so it's been a bit of a learning experience for me to try and get this build up nicely. Now, what I have done over here, because they're going to spawn at this point, and they will also spawn here as well for your home base. If you haven't placed this amplifier, then they will attack your home base from here as well. For the home base, if they do, they generally will mainly just fall down this direction and head over there. You may get the occasional one which they will actually have a spawn point for the home base, will be around this section here. So I had to do a few different kinds of builds around here. I did initially have these builds were all the way out back over here, but they kept getting taken out by the spawn points and getting destroyed. Traps weren't saving. I was coming back in and traps were disappearing. So I've set the builds all the way back over there. But we do have some electric fields up here and some drop traps and things as well, because the home base spawns, when they spawn down here, they will either head down this bit, or the ones that spawn over here will actually head straight down this natural ramp as well. So we've got some drop traps up here, which are mainly for the home base defense, but they will help out for amplifier C as well. Now if they get down through here, we've got a few more, and then whatever's left then normally gets taken out by those little traps over there. We may have to change and update them before too long, but we'll see how things go. But for your amplifier C, again, they will spawn over at this point. So what I did do is I put a couple of traps in here just to try and make them head this direction towards our actual trap tunnel that we've set up, rather than trying to go straight through this way, which if they did, then they would just have like a straight run all the way down here to go up. And if I can do this without falling down, yes, there is a natural ramp over there which they would head towards as well. So we want to try and block them off from coming that way. So I've put just a basic wall here, just the floors to help hold it all up, and a few wall darts on there as well, just to prevent anything from wanting to try to smash on there. So they should hopefully head down this way. Now yes, they do still have the option to go over this direction. We did put in a couple more traps up here just in case they sort of come along here. Otherwise, they might take the long way round and they might head up there and towards those, which we'll go into that bit in a minute. But majority of them will come towards this direction, and they will come through our little trap tunnel. So there's nothing fancy on here. We've just got a couple of wall launchers in here just to fling them into these two boxes where they'll take a load of damage in there. If they make it through, then they get some wall darts. We've got retractable floor spikes, and I've also got a tar pit at the end with two broadsides either side just to cause some massive damage on their way out, and more electric fields up on the ceilings of it. If they do make it out this far, then a couple more traps over here, which it should be perfectly fine. There shouldn't be no worries from that. Now for the odd few then that do want to try and take the long way round, they're gonna probably want to come over down here. They will come along down here somewhere. Now if they go along this way, then we have got some ceiling electric fields up here just to take them out. But I wouldn't have thought you'll get too many coming up this way, because the only spot they can actually get up is this bit here, which is a bit of a faff, and they might want to just take the long way round anyway. So I'm kind of hoping anything that does come down are going to head down here and sort of head up along this side, which technically would be the shortest route, because that is our amplifier in there. So they will come up here. Now you need to leave one of these tiles off so that they can actually get up, otherwise they will hit this floor tile and they won't be able to get up and get to the amp. So we just put in it like that just to give them a way to get up at this point or at this point. Hopefully get hit by the wall launcher, send them back over there anyway. But then regardless, they will either come up this way and they will go up here to the other side of the amplifier, which is in there, or they will come up this way and in through here, which we got a couple more drop traps up at the top, then take majority out, and then they've got to come through the trap tunnel end of our other spawn, which I'll go through in a moment, before they can actually get to our actual Atlas, our amplifier. So that is the spawn from the north. Now from the east, they are going to spawn. Let me get all the way over here. They are going to spawn all the way back down there. They will be all the way down there. So there's plenty of sort of scope from heading over. And you may get the occasional one which are going to want to come up this bit of natural ramp here. So we did sort of just block this little bit off here just to make sure they don't go the long way around over there. And then what they should do is they should just drop down into one of these sides or down here and start taking damage from our drop traps then. Now the barrier will be literally placed along this line here. You won't be able to actually place any traps on this square or this square because of the barrier being there. So you're going to be limited what you can do. I think you can literally just about get to the very corner of this one to be able to place a broadside on it. You can't place any trap on the ceiling, but majority will want to come through this way, so they're going to head in here. We got the wall launcher then to fling them into a little box. Later on for a next SSD, we'll be able to place some more traps in there. We'll be okay. And if they're heading in through here, then of course we've got loads of broadsides and wall darts and retractable spikes cause loads of damage. And of course we've got our ceiling electric fields up above. Keep heading through here. Now this one, another trap that seems to just keep disappearing, and I do not know why. It keeps happening so many times. But wall darts again and cause some damage as they're getting through. Now they'll either head down this one or they'll head down this one, which are pretty much identical tunnels. But we've got a natural ramp that goes down here, so we've got some ceiling drop traps up here to cause some damage, some broadsides and some wall darts on there, and the same as they get further down. And when they do get to the bottom then, which our amplifier is literally just the other side of this wall over here. Let me fetch this out just so I'm not destroying anything by mistake, but our amplifier is just behind there, so they'll take some more damage and things and hopefully get dancing if they don't get taken out, which will then get flung by the floor launcher, which will fling them into this box up here, and the amplifier is directly underneath it, where they will take a massive damage in this little box and get taken out from there. If they happen to come around this side, then same thing. We've still got our drop traps up here, but we've got another 2 tiles of traps over here, which are going to cause some problem, and then they will fall down into this one, more damage, and if they ever make it that far, get into this one, which they will either get hit by the floor launcher to fling them into the box up here, which is another big box of damage up here, or the wall launcher will fling them back over this side, which they'll then take more damage from these squares over here. So that is that side. I just need to try and get out of here now. Okay, now from the south they are going to be coming all the way over down here. It's going to be along this section down here. Now they're going to head up, and there's another piece not upgraded. They're going to head up towards this section here. Now you will get some that are going to want to just walk straight down into this section, which is why I've left this all open down here. They'll fall into this big sort of maze where they're going to have to take loads of damage as they're heading out through over there. Or if not, a couple of bits of block off in there just to stop them going over that way, but they'll head around this side then, which again couldn't place any trap on there because of the barrier was in the way. Did manage to get some in there, but it wasn't really any use without the launcher, so let's put that on there for now. So that'll be for the next SSD, but they'll make their way around here. Keep going around, taking loads of damage as they go from all the traps up here. And they will either go down the natural ramp or they will fall in here, which they'll fall into the box, which they've then got to make their way out. So if they go down the natural ramp, they've got loads of tire traps up here to catch them all the way along. And if they get far enough, which pretty much only us smashers really get this far anyway, then we've got another box here. Hopefully knock them into, cause a bit of damage in there and take them out, which joins in to this section over here. So that is our amplifier C. Now next one that we've got then is where are we now? Where are we? Over this way. We've got amplifier A, which is this one here. Now for this one they're going to attack from both the south. They won't attack from the west now because I've placed that, so they're only going to go from the south. If you haven't placed that amplifier, then they will get attacked from the south as well, from the west, should I say. But do check one of the previous SSDs. That will show you in there if they do come from that direction. But I'll go on to my other account in a moment and show you those. Now this in here, this is just a bit of a makeshift that I've set up for these, because they're going to spawn over these points along down here. So they're going to head up this natural ramp as it is up here. So we got some drop traps at the very top of the ramp section, and any point they come along here, they're going to take some damage in anyway, but they'll head in through here where they get sent into more of these timeout boxes. If they do come this far around, then we've got some wall launchers which are going to fling them all the way down there, and they'll have to come up this section, which I'll go in a moment. So there's 2 of those, and then we got some more damage ones as we get along to the end, and that will cover the south direction. So the ones that do get flung down, they will land anywhere along down here, and they're either going to take the long way back up, which some do, or they're going to come up this natural ramp up here. So we got sound wall just to make them dance as they come up here, and normally they get taken out by this drop trap then before they even get up from there. If they get through any further though, we've got some more traps and things here just to take care of them, and we also have 2 more traps which have disappeared. There's so many traps disappearing at the moment. So that is your defenses for the south of Amp A. So the new amplifier that I have placed, which at the moment I don't recommend placing this one so early. If you get an opportunity later on to place this one, I probably would. I would, for this SSD, I personally would do that one, which is what I've done on my other account. I've got that anyway, so we'll go and have a look at that in a minute. But if you happen to place this one here, they will come from either the south, which will be over here, anywhere along this section down here, or they're going to come from the west, which will be anywhere along down here. Now for the west is a bit of a nightmare because you will get lobbers in this wave, and it doesn't give you very much scope at all for putting any lobber shield or any defenses against the lobbers. Your other defenses for husks are fine, no problems, but you don't really get any opportunity to be able to place any decent lobber shield in. That is literally as much of a lobber shield as I could put in because of the barrier, and you even had some which annoyingly would come all the way up this ramp, which you can't even get to and build and defend. They would come all the way up this ramp here, and you'll see in some of the gameplay footage playing up here that I had blasters and even zappers as I was stood over at this point watching, and they were just coming up all up there. So it's a bit of a nightmare for defending on, which is why we've got a load of anti-air traps over here just to try and stop those annoying lobbers from causing the damage. But you will be able to place these. This just about is in half out of the barrier when you come for this defense, so you'll be able to place these in at the bottom. I was only able to place the one electric field up there. I couldn't even get to place one on there because of the barrier. We got some drop traps up here then, cause some damage as they're coming up, and wall darts and things as they're going as well. If they get up as far as this, which they didn't really even get that far, then we got broadsides and wall darts and freeze traps on the floor to take them out. Now for the ones then that come from the south, this one you don't tend to need to worry too much about your lobbers. They won't cause you too much of an issue from over this side, because they will tend to head up this direction anyway, because this is going to be their shortest route that they can even come, and they generally get taken out by this drop trap then as they're heading up. If they get through here, a few wall launchers and things on here, you won't be able to place any traps on those two, so leave those blank. We've got some broadsides then, and we've got wall darts and things cause some damage, and of course our electric fields up above as well, and 2 more timeout boxes over here as well. So that is your defense then for D if you place this one over here. As I said, I'll go on my other account in a moment and show you our defenses for over there, and the other defense that we can do as well. Next one which we have, which for this one when it gets attacked it tended to be mainly from the north, but for this one you will have either from the north or you will have from the west. So I'll go over the north first because that's the most likely you're going to get. Now, for this one, annoyingly, and I think I did say this in my last video, you will get a spawn point which will be right up where that tree is up there. And they were tending to walk along this. They were falling down the edge straight onto the top of our builds and just going straight over to our amplifier. So what I did do is just put in a couple of electric fields up there, a wall launcher over there as well, just to sort of fling them back over this way if they do, and also a sound wall then as well, just to make them dance and cause them to fall over this way. But they will spawn mainly around this spot down here. There is also a tiny little spot up here and up here as well where they can spawn, which again is really annoying, but you can't do much about those. They should mainly head over towards this direction where they will go through all of these traps and go through all of this before they get up to our amplifier. I did cover majority of this section before in a previous video, so I won't go through all of this bit again. And they got to go through this section then as well before they even get to our amplifier, which is just behind there. Now, one thing I do want to note for those annoying ones that spawn up on the top, I did add in a little bit of block off here, because especially your flingers will take some major routes around trying to get to your amplifier, so they can be an absolute nightmare. So I blocked this bit off, but the ones that did spawn up on the top of this section and up here, they would like to either come around this way, or they would walk along the top of this and fall down here and head over. So we've kind of mixed it in with our defenses for the west direction over here. I blocked off this little section over here. There's just a little bit of block off, but they tend to walk around here and then they will fall into this section where they will start taking their damage. Now, for the west as well, this will do for the same for them. They will spawn, as I was saying, down this section all the way down there, down by that tree down there. And they will come up this natural ramp. They will head around up here, come along this way and head over to our traps. So we've got basically this wall is more of a lobber and flinger wall, just to stop them from standing all the way over there and causing problems. And we've left these sections open, so there's plenty of space for them to just fall in and just really take massive amounts of damage as they come in. Nothing too fancy on there. Now there is also this last section over here as well, which I started filling in, and to be honest, you could only really get to this point anyway. I completely forgot to even add in the traps. So with this, there should be a load of traps in here, but you can pretty much get away with this section for that SSD that that we've got in here anyway. If they make it in through this way, then they're going to get hit by the wall launchers and everything over here, get flung into these pits anyway. I've run this so many different times that I know that it still works without those traps on, because I have had an attack from the west, so I know it still works even though we didn't add any in. But you've got your wall darts that you can place in, you can place broadsides in there. On the floor, probably I'd either go for some tar pits or even, some retractable floor spikes in it, just to put things on the floor, and electric fields on the ceiling, and you should be pretty fine. Just leave this square open in case anything comes around up this way, which they occasionally can, especially lobbers and flingers. So that's really for that section on here as well. Now, one thing I want to note, we've got these massive blimmin' lobber shields here, because the lobbers and flingers are an absolute nightmare. And we've got the same over here as well, which I got a little bit there because I found there was one that was trying to stand over on that square, just lobbing over, causing problems, so I put that one in. But the main lobber shield is this one over here, which they will hopefully get and prevent them from lobbing and destroying that. We have got a couple of anti-air traps in front of it just to stop them destroying our lobber shield, which they did sometimes. And then right back at the amplifier itself, we've got a load more anti-air traps on here as well. So I'm going to quickly go over onto my third account. I don't want to be too long because I know this video is getting really long anyway, but I'll quickly go on my third account now and I'll show you some of the builds that I've got over there as well. Okay, right, so I'm on my other account. This is my third account now, and for this one then, just very briefly, let's get over here first. Get up here. Now, as I said, all of this section over here, this is all for my endurance. It's all built up already. So this is way overkill for an SSD, but this is going to work. And apart from the traps themselves, this is going to stay until I've completed my endurance. And even after then, I will probably leave it all in, you know, for AFK endurance later on. So that will all be covered. That's the home base north. There'll be links in the description for all of these I'm going to go and tell you about now. This one over here, which for our amplifier A, as it is in this case here, all of the spawn point from the north, which is down this section down here, this again is all in my endurance build. So this is all build up for the endurance, so I won't have to go and do this later on. It's all going to be there ready. So again, check the description for a link of that. The same applies for the east spawns. Pretty much these are the same as my endurance builds I've got as well, so do go and check that. There'll be a link in the description for there as well. Now, because we've got this one placed here, then it's going to stop the spawn for amplifier D, which is this one, and we won't get the spawn from this direction anymore, so that is great. And we also won't get any spawn from this direction for amplifier A either, so you don't need to worry about anything in this section over here. Now for this one, they are going to come from the east or the south. Now this slightly different design, very slightly than the other account, but again spawns over here, so they're going to come through this direction, which this bit is pretty much the same. It looks the same as the one we've just gone through, but instead of having the two directions on this one, I've just gone for the one, which our amplifiers behind there, but we've got a launcher in here and another launcher which fling them into this box to cause some problems in there. So that's the only difference. I've got this set up instead of having two different tunnels which I had on the last one, so we don't need to worry there. For our south spawn, you are gonna have a spawn over here down this section along here. Now they will want to try and go up that ramp up there, and there's no way you can actually get over there to build for it. So what I have done on this one is I just put in like a little bit of a tunnel in there just to push them down into this box and cause some problems in here. Now I do not know what is happening with respect to traps in here at the moment, because traps are just completely disappearing. Even on this account, I'm having them disappear on me. All this was filled in with electric fields, and they've all gone, they've all disappeared. Absolute pain in the backside. But a little bit of lobber shields here just to stop any lobbers from wanting to come, because they'll either go through this section again and come around here and around here, same as before. And this one, you see, I have got just the one drop trap up here rather than having the 2 and 3 that I had on the other account. That worked just as well. The other way, they might just want to come and fall down here, so they just go into this box and start taking some damage as they go around. Now, let's have a quick look around here. I want to go through and show you all of the different builds, because it'll show you there's different ways of doing things. Now, this one here, for this spawn over this direction from the south for Amplifier B, this again is endurance, so go and check out the link in the description. That one will be covered in the endurance. For the west, because we haven't placed this amplifier here on this account, they traps and everything set up on this are exactly the same as they were on the previous SSDs, so you won't need to worry. You can check on is it SSD number 4. That will show you the build set up on that, so I won't go through all that again on this video either. This bit then, this is still the same, because again we haven't placed this one, so we need to leave these defenses up here, because these are for the spawn for Amplifier C, which we've got on this one, which you can see looks completely different than it did on the other account. So they will come and they will be spawning around the amplifier over here, all the way around this. So they're going to head up this ramp, take all this damage as they're coming through. So at least you know there's various different ways that you can do things, and so many different ways that you can build things up. You don't have to worry that, you know, you've got to be exactly the same as me. You can change these up. You can make your own builds if you need to. Now for Amplifier C, as you know, they will get attacked as well from the west and the north, as well as the south. So for the west on this one, I have actually remembered to put in majority of my traps and things, but again, this whole section here, and I'm beginning to wonder whether they've just disappeared, or whether it is that I have just forgotten to put traps in both sections. I don't know. I don't know whether they've just keep disappearing, but they will want to come through this section, because they're going to spawn down there. So they'll come up this natural ramp up here, or they'll go up that natural ramp up there, which we'll get to in a second. So they'll come all the way around here and get through all of these before they actually get anywhere, so chances are they're not really going to make it too far anyway. The other section over here, I did add in a couple of extra ones, because they're going to come up that ramp, as I said, which will fetch them up along here, and they'll come along this way. So they should head over towards this, which I've got set in here. There was supposed to be a wall launcher somewhere to actually make them go into this section, but I'm not entirely sure that this bit will do anything currently without having a wall launcher in it. It may be better to do it like that. Let's get that one out the way, because at least then when they hit that launcher, then they will get flung into this box and take all their damage in there. If not, they will come through this way and fall down into this section in here, which generally takes them out anyway. For this one over here, again, this one looks slightly different than the other one did. I didn't even put in my block off along here. I didn't have any problems at all on this account with any lobbers or flingers, so I didn't even bother with the block off. So it just goes to show that depending on amplifiers that you place and spawn directions and spawn points, that sometimes you might need to block off, sometimes you might not. So at least you know the different ways that you might be able to do it. Again, plenty of anti-air traps because of those blooming lobbers and flingers. And on this one, literally just a giant wall here. And up here, I didn't have any of this section up here because I didn't need it. We've just got a sound wall on the end to make them dance and then fall straight down into this, which, you know, they get taken out as they go in along here. This section, this I know didn't have traps on. This is literally just blocked off just to stop them from lobbing and flinging, so at least all these haven't disappeared, but they will head in through this section along here and head off up this direction over here. So that is pretty much all of the builds I've got then for both the two accounts, depending on which amplifier you place, whether you place that one over there or whether you place that one over behind the trees over there. The builds hopefully should help you out and get the job done. So there might be some more changes before we get to the next one, but SSD number 7, which is your next one to do, you won't need to place any new amplifiers, so I'm not sure if I'm going to do a video on that separately yet. It all depends. You might probably just need to add in a couple of extra traps and things for it. But I hope this does help you out. If it does, don't forget to hit that like, smash subscribe. Do use code RiverFox in the Fortnite store. Check in the description for all of those links. They will help you out a great deal, as will these two up here. Sorry it's been such a long video, but until the next one, I hope you have a fantastic day and stay safe, my friends.